What is good, YouTube? Today we are back with another WeatherWise Part 2. Well, actually, we're doing a WeatherWise Update Part 2 here, since WeatherWise has updated a lot of stuff on their end of the side of things. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, starting to take a look at the radar, I actually want to zoom in here. So if we zoom in here to this radar, you could see here's our reflectivity, and if we click here, you could change it to whatever. You could change it to velocity, correlation coefficient, differential reflectivity, spectrum width, precipitation type, specific differential phase, hydrometer classification, enhanced ecotops, storm relative velocity, vertically integrated liquid, 1 hour precipitation accumulation, and then storm total accumulation. The storm tracks as well you can mess with. The DBZ, reflectivity unit, velocities, tower icon. You could basically mess with anything. Not really recommended. I'm not really saying anything's recommended to use on this side of things, but just something you guys could probably take in consideration and just mess with if you're a first time user for WeatherWise. But they also got the Pro. If you want to use the reflectivity X or the max reflectivity, or if you want to use the max scans higher than 15, or the 3D radar, or the lightning, or the smoothing, or the fast scan or flash reflectivity, you gotta have either the Pro or the Plus radar scan, or the radar app, or radar subscription, excuse me. So I think it's like $8 or $6 or something like that for you to use the Pro or the Plus. I don't really know the difference. I guess Pro has more subscription details, but let me know in the comment section below if you guys know the answer to that one. But I do want to grab your guys' attention here. If you click the warning system up here, the little icon up here that says the number and has that little circle, if you click that, you could you could see that we have 8 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We have 37 total warnings depending on what kind of warnings you have turned on. So let's just do an example here. We got a severe thunderstorm warning here in Arizona. Hail, they got the hail tag there for 1 inch in diameter hail, and then as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for the hail tag. It even tells you when the severe thunderstorm warning expires. So that's very interesting to see. But if you click a severe thunderstorm warning or whatever warning or watch or advisory you have turned on your map, you could click it and it'll tell you the tag and everything when it expires. And if you click that, it'll give you all your information as to what the severe thunderstorm warning could do per se. Same thing with all the other ones. They have their own categories and stuff. So that's your warnings. But I do want to click the settings proportion here. So they have their stuff categorized. I can't even say it right because English cannot English. But whatever, it's all right though. I mean, you guys can mess with this. You can have it whatever you like. I mean, whatever floats your boat. But personally, I don't really want to keep everything turned on because it just takes up too much space and it kind of like gets a lot of confusion just due to the amount of warnings and watches, all that kind of sort of stuff. But I also want to go over something else here too. If you click the plus, you could see the warnings, watches, advisory statements, outlooks, forecasts, discussions, tropical. If you click the discussions, it'll give you what kind of mesoscale discussions are in effect, and it'll tell you what it's for and when it will expire. Right now we have 5 mesoscale discussions in effect. The tropical, we're going to go over that in another later. We're going to go over that later in this video. That's probably the last thing we're going to go over, and then we're going to wrap it up. Wrap up the video at least. And yeah, y'all can mess with that. But If we take a look here, if you click the 3 bars up in your upper left hand corner of your screen, you got screenshot, you got share map, Hascam, spotter network, storm chasers, my locations, METARs, and y'all mode. Y'all mode, you gotta have the plus subscription for that. But I do want to get rid of this here so I can actually give you a more view of what this says here. They also got split view, which is for the plus subscription. They got expert mode, which is for the pro subscription. The navigation, you could click locate me or storm chaser mode. So basically, if you want to do the locate me, it'll give you where you're at on the map, and it'll just place a little dot as to where you are on the map. The drawing tool, you guys can mess with this. So if you want to draw something on the map, it's free to do so. I'm gonna draw a little circle. Okay, that's a horrible circle. That's more like a 5-year-old drawing a circle, and I just draw a line, but whatever. So you could draw anything here, and if you want to get rid of your drawing, you could press the red trash can button, or if you want to lock it in, you press that, and then if you X that out, it'll just stay in place. So let's go back to draw here, and like I said, you could go back and then you could go forth, and it'll just, you know, it can delete it. But the paintbrush, I put that at 10 at px, but you can adjust the size of your pen that you want to use, and then the color, you could use any color you'd like, completely optional. But that is your drawing tool. But I want to come back to here for a minute. I want to discuss what each one is about here. So the screenshots, you could take a screenshot on the website, whatever screenshot you would like to make or take here. And then the share map, you could share the map to whoever you would like. The Hascams, they're basically just webcams that the WeatherWise has. Unfortunately, the Hascams, they do not have it countrywide. It's mainly just the southeast at where the Hascams are at. The spotter network, it's just basically the spotters that are assigned or not assigned, that are basically logged in or whatever. And then the storm chasers, I think they only have Brandon Kopic and Corey Gherkin. I think they have Brett Adair, I think. I'm not quite sure. But I keep the Hascams and the spotter network off just simply due to the fact that it just takes up too much space that shouldn't be needed. And the my locations, I don't even know what that is, honestly. And the METARs, you could turn those on. You see, you could do which reading you would like. You got the dew point, we got the temperature, we got the wind direction, and we got wind speed. It even gives you the display units. I usually keep that on Fahrenheit because that is our metric unit for temperature here in the United States. And then the continents, we got North America, South America, Asia, Australia, Europe, Oceania, and then Africa. So that's your METARs. And then you could do the y'all mode, but you have to pay for the plus subscription for that. And then the split view, you got to pay for the plus subscription for that. It'll just give you a split, so you could basically take a look at the reflectivity and the velocities at the same time for a specific storm you are wanting to look at. And then the expert mode, you got to get the pro subscription for that. The navigation, I went over that. The drawing, I went over that. And then the unlock plus or pro, that's only if you want to use an upper echelon, if you want to say, or an upper more detailed stuff. WeatherWise has, you gotta unlock the plus or the pro. So that's your little information there on that side of things. But I do want to go over something else here too as well. If you click WeatherWise, you can mess with this. They got the download iPhone or Android app. They got the help center. Basically, the help center is like if there's something wrong with your app, you can click that and all that kind of sort of stuff. And then the map settings, I actually keep that on default. They got satellite for the style, they got dark, they got light, they got day, they got outdoors. The glow projection, that's for the plus users that have the subscription. The split view max maps, that's for the pro subscription users. And the country settings, the thickness, I keep that 4px. The color, you could change whatever you want. I keep the style on solid. And like I said, you could mess with anything here on the map settings. So they even got the county settings, they got the road network settings, they got the POI label settings, they got the graticule settings. They got a lot of settings here in the map settings. So they also got the keyboard shortcuts. So they got the shift +1 if you want to set the mode to radar. The shift +2 is set the mode to composite. Shift +3 is set the mode to satellite. And then set mode to outlook sets shift +4. Shift +R set radar product to reflectivity, and then shift +X you gotta set the radar product to reflectivity X. But some of this is for the pro or plus subscription users, so some of this stuff you don't really have to worry about if you don't want the subscription for any of those. So for the shift +V, they got the set product to velocity, and then shift +C, they got the set product to correlation coefficient, and then the shift +D, they got to set the radar product to differential reflectivity, and then the shift W, you could set the radar product to spectrum width, and then the shift, control, and up, you gotta press those buttons at the same time. You gotta load a higher radar tilt, and then the shift plus control plus down, you gotta press those buttons at the same time. You gotta load the radar lower tilt, and then yeah, you can basically look at this yourself. Completely free for you guys to look at. And then they got the app updates. You could take a look at the updates that were made on the app. You could leave the feedback. Sometimes there's kind of products on here that you don't even have to use, but I want to switch topics here and talk about the 4 things they have in the top corner or the top part of your screen. They got the radar, they got the composite, they got the satellite, and they got the outlooks. So if you press composite here, they got the MRMS reflectivity. So you could basically take a look at the reflectivity countrywide here. If I zoom out here, you can take a look at the reflectivity countrywide. So that is very interesting. And then they got all of these reflectivity kind of products here you could take a look at. So a lot. They got the vertically integrated liquid density. They got the liquid swaths. They got a whole heck of a lot of stuff. They got the rotation tracks. They got a lot of stuff on their MRMS side of things. The playback speed, I would usually keep that in the middle. At least what I would do. The DBZ, I would keep that as that, the reflectivity unit. And the max frames, as far you could go, is 15 if you don't have the subscription for the Pro or the Plus. And look at that. We do now have a tornado warning. So yeah, that's interesting there. But the opacity, I keep that very, very high there. Because if you keep that on low, it's not even going to show your radar. So all it's going to show is your map and stuff. But very, very cool on your MRMS side of things here. And then you can look at Alaska, Hawaii, or Caribbean, or Guam. So it's not just for the United States. So that is very interesting to see on the composite there. Satellite, a whole heck of a lot of satellite stuff to talk about in this video. I usually use satellite for tropical weather more than anything. So they got the goes east. You could change that to goes west, but I usually keep that on goes east if you want to look at the United States or the Atlantic, and the goes west is for the Pacific. And then they got the infrared. They got a lot of satellite stuff you could take a look at here on the app or the website. And then the outlooks, if I can click the outlooks, that'd be very helpful. So they got the SPC outlooks. You got the categorical, the tornado, the wind, the hail, and the probabilistic outlooks here. If I just click the categorical outlook for today, you could see we have a slight risk, a marginal risk, and a general thunderstorm risk for today. And then tomorrow, 2 marginal, or actually 1 marginal, very small marginal there. And then day 3, we got a very, very large general thunderstorm risk. And then if you want to go out farther, you got to click the probabilistic for day 4 and then for day 5. They don't have anything for day 4 and day 5, but if they would, it would be in a yellow shaded area of where it is located. They also have SPC thunderstorm outlooks, as you can see here. They also have SPC fire outlooks, fire weather outlooks, the dry thunderstorms. They got the wind, relative humidity, and they got the Weather Prediction Center excessive rainfall. You see they got a slight risk there. It even gives you a little kind of index, basically, what the percent chances are for each of the colors. So the marginal is for 5%, the 15% is for the slight risk, so that's interesting to see. And then the Weather Prediction Center precipitation forecast, they got the daily, they got the multi-day. You can mess with this. They got the day 1, 2, they got the day 1 through 3, they got the day 1 through 5, they got the day 1 through 7. They got the WPC, WSSI overall impact snow amount. So this is basically what I would use for the winter time, for winter outlooks. That's what you would most definitely be using if you want to use that. And then the WPC winter weather snowfall rates, I would just use it as well for the winter. They got the snowfall rates, 4 inches, 8 inches, 12 inches, and then the freezing rain amount there. And then the CPC climate, they got the temperature outlook, the precipitation outlook, and then the Climate Prediction Center drought monitor, they have that too as well on WeatherWise. So that is interesting to see there. The CPC Global Tropics Hazard, as you can see, they got the combine, they got the tropical cyclone formation, enhanced precipitation, and they got the suppressed precipitation and above average temperatures, below average temperatures, and then they even also have the U.S. avalanches outlook there as well. So I also want to go over the tropical part of this video. So if I just turn the outlooks off, if we go back to here, let's just do an example here. So you could see tropical storm warnings out here. And then they got this cone for Tropical Storm Ferdinand out here in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Atlantic, actually. And if you click the TS that is shaded in blue, the little circle there, if you click that, it gives you what the tropical storm wind speeds are and the minimum pressure, and it gives you what time the advisory was taken. As you can see, the advisory was at 5 o'clock. Max wind speeds are at 46 miles per hour, and the minimum pressure is at 1,009 millibars. So if you click on show on satellite, it'll show it on satellite for you. So yeah, that's very cool to see. And then if you click the blue things ahead of the tropical system for the cone, you could see the max wind speeds and the minimum pressure for each little dot there. And yeah, so that is very interesting to see. And also they got ALYs they added too as well. So if you click on this little yellow circular ALY here, that's what they're called, tropical disturbances. It'll give you the percent chances for the day 2 and the day 7. So like I said, they got the 30% for day 2, and then the day 7 they got the 30% for that as well. And if you click on that, it'll give you the little discussion on the disturbance. Same thing with the tropical system, so, and yeah, also the same thing out here for this as well. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys got any questions that you would like for me to answer, put them in the comment section down below. Please don't be shy. I'll be happy to answer them. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing, as it does help me out quite a lot. I hope I did a very detailed explanation here on the WeatherWise Part 2 update here, because, man, WeatherWise, shout out to WeatherWise. They have added so much stuff compared to what they did 4 months ago. I mean, 4 months ago, they had the general stuff, like, you know, the outlooks and all that kind of stuff, radar, but they didn't have the subscriptions out 4 months ago like they do now. So shout out to WeatherWise. They have been updating so much frequently. Yeah, WeatherWise is a very useful app. I would consider using it. It's basically the best free app out there. I mean, you could download it on mobile, or you could just use it as a web browser on the on computer, laptop, desktop, whatever you want to use. So yeah, like I said, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next video.